buzz around XRP is growing louder, and for good reason. Remember that chart analyst who nailed the call on XRP's breakout this market cycle? It finally happened in November 2024, setting the stage for history. By January 16th of this year, XRP smashed through a 7-year ceiling to hit a brand new all-time high. And now the chatter is that XRP isn't done yet. Analysts are lining up with bold predictions, and one in particular who accurately called the last breakout is doubling down. What's he saying? Buckle up, because he's putting $23 on the table for XRP's next peak. Ambitious? Maybe, but more and more voices are jumping on board with this idea. Of course, not everyone's shooting for the stars. Some analysts I follow are leaning more conservative, placing their bets around $10. Either way, one thing is clear. XRP's story is far from over, and the excitement is impossible to ignore. So what's your call? $10, $23, beyond? On the high end, we're talking around $30, or maybe somewhere in that ballpark. The truth? Probably somewhere in between. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be absolutely wild. Whatever happens, it's shaping up to be massive. I've been diving into insights from several XRP chart analysts, as well as experts who are convinced something big is brewing. And guess what? Some think it could happen as soon as this summer. Excited yet? You should be. Now, before we go any further, let me be super clear. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have a financial background, and this isn't financial advice. Don't make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say, all right? Summer is heating up. And so is crypto. A popular chart analyst, Mr. Crypto, with a massive 143,000 followers, just echoed something I've been saying lately, and it's worth repeating because, let's face it, history has a habit of rhyming. If the patterns hold, we're gearing up for an absolutely thrilling summer in the crypto world. Here's the scoop. He highlights a key trend. The last summer of the Bitcoin cycle is always bullish. Always. And this time it's no different. Right now we're living it. This is the final summer of the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. And if those cycles are as reliable as they've been in the past, things are about to get very interesting. Picture this. The chart shows us exactly where we are, right in the magenta zone. Or is it burgundy? Ron Burgundy, perhaps. Either way, these bars are pointing to one thing: potential boom ahead. See those green bars mixed with that Ron Burgundy Ellis color? They're not channeling a teleprompter-loving anchorman. They're showing crypto market trends during summer over the last decade. And here's the big takeaway. Summers in crypto tend to be, well, kind of meh. That's where the old saying comes from: sell in May and go away. Why? Because people go on vacation, trading slows, and the excitement fizzles. Prices tend to snooze during the summer months, except, of course, during the final year of a bull cycle. Take a look back. In 2021, green. In 2017, green. Summers in those years definitely bucked the trend. It's a rare pattern, but it's there if you look closely. Here's the thing. Not enough people talk about this. Everyone assumes summer will be dull, predictable, uneventful. But what if this time is different? Sometimes things turn out differently. But let's be real. Those are often famous last words. I'm not banking on it. If I had to make a call, I'd bet this summer is going to heat up. And I'm not just talking about the weather. Let's take a quick look back. In summer 2017, Bitcoin, acting as a solid stand-in for the entire crypto market, took us on a wild ride. Sure, it dipped a little early on, but then, boom, a green bar of growth lit up the charts, making it an unforgettable summer for crypto enthusiasts. Fast forward to 2021, and it's a similar story. Bitcoin stumbled briefly, but then it climbed again, giving us yet another summer worth remembering. So, could history be setting us up for another exciting season? Only time will tell, but if the past has taught us anything, it's that summer and crypto tend to bring the heat. Could Bitcoin hit the mid $90,000 range? Maybe. Some analysts seem pretty confident about it, and they might just be right. Even if that happens, it doesn't change the bigger picture. This summer could still be shaping up to be a wildly bullish ride. Now, I'm not here to make guarantees, but if history has shown us anything, it's that it loves to repeat itself, or at least rhyme. There's a pattern, a rhythm to these markets, and those who've been paying attention know this time is unlikely to be any different. Prince Jelly is calling it, Bitcoin is riding the wave of global liquidity straight to 150K. Here's the thing, Bitcoin's price movements aren't just random. Time and time again, it mirrors global liquidity trends, following the flow of money about 90% of the time. Why? Because when M2, a measure of global liquidity, expands, more funds hit the market, Businesses, institutions, and individuals suddenly have extra capital. And guess where that money often goes? Risk on assets like Bitcoin. Investors are drawn to risk on assets like stocks and cryptocurrencies. It's no surprise, right? Zoom out and you'll notice a strong correlation between these assets and global liquidity trends. Take Bitcoin, for instance. It often lags behind the M2 Global Liquidity Index, which you can see represented by the black line on the chart. Now ask yourself, what happens next? Do we suddenly break this decade-long pattern where Bitcoin and other assets follow liquidity trends? Unlikely. History tells us otherwise. If anything, it's setting the stage for some wild, jaw-dropping price action, especially for altcoins. And yes, XRP is at the top of that list for me. This is where things get exciting. We even threw the question to Credible Crypto, one of the sharpest minds in the space and someone I deeply respect as an analyst. New to investing and feeling like it's a never-ending uphill climb, you're not alone. It can sometimes feel like the market is dragging you through a marathon with no finish line in sight. So when does the aha moment hit? When does it start making sense? Here's the honest truth. The market doesn't care about your timeline. It's unpredictable, chaotic, and often boring. Yes, boring. Most of the time, it's not about fireworks or massive wins. It's about patience and discipline. You can't control the market, but you can control your mindset. The key, stay the course. The real magic happens over time. You're either in the game when the good stuff happens or you're not. And trust me, the good stuff does happen. So embrace the quiet grind because those disciplined actions today will pay off tomorrow. It's not always exciting, but boring often leads to brilliance. Keep going. Credible Crypto absolutely nailed it. And it's worth taking a moment to reflect on this. If you're feeling stuck, questioning your investment choices, or wondering, did I make the right call getting into crypto? Take a deep breath. Here's the thing. The crypto space is constantly growing, even when it feels like nothing exciting is happening. Sure, in the short term, it might seem like a slow grind, but when you zoom out, it's a whole different story. The growth is wild, life-changingly wild. This is the mindset you need, especially if you're looking to build generational wealth with something like XRP. You have to embrace the bigger picture. Right now, we're in a part of the cycle where some folks are feeling fatigued and new investors are just stepping in. It's a good time to recalibrate, stay focused, and remember why you're here. Here's the thing. He explained it perfectly. The slow, choppy phases always outlast the fast, exciting ones. Consolidation takes time, while expansion feels like it's over in a flash. It's just how the game works. You've got to embrace the fact that 70-80% of the time, you're stuck in the grind, waiting for that thrilling 10-20% when everything takes off. And honestly, once you accept that this ebb and flow is totally natural, the sideways slog becomes a lot easier to handle. Sure, his percentages might not be exact, but his point, spot on. In fact, I'd bet those adrenaline-filled moments are even rarer than 10-20%. Maybe he's right. I can't say for sure, but after 7.5 years in the game, it feels like it could be lower than that. Here's the thing about crypto. Most of the time, it's a grind. Sideways moves, downward dips. It's just the nature of the beast. That's not an opinion. It's the reality. But when it happens, it's electric. The market takes off like a rocket with massive surges that more than make up for the wait. Those moments are what we live for. The huge bursts to the upside are coming, and this time won't be any different. Here's an interesting take from chart analyst X-Force Global. I'm so ready for the next bear market, but it's not here yet. Bitcoin dominance hasn't dropped once this cycle, yet we've still seen 5x to 10x gainers across the board. Now imagine what happens when Bitcoin dominance does drop. Oof, that's a solid point, and one worth unpacking. He's talking about Bitcoin's dominance, the percentage of the crypto market it controls. What happens when that dominance starts to slide? Simple. People take profits. They always do. When there's a mountain of unrealized gains, it's only a matter of time before they cash out. But here's the kicker. They're not done. Many take those profits and start placing bets elsewhere, often into large cap altcoins like XRP. And that's when things really start to sizzle across the market. What's really exciting right now? Bitcoin dominance. Think about it. It hasn't wavered this entire cycle. Even with XRP making big moves, Bitcoin has held steady. And let's talk about XRP for a second. It's been consolidating above $2 months, hitting new highs on its own organically. That's huge. It shows strength, resilience, and growing confidence in the market. Here's the kicker. When the next wave of money flows in, we're headed straight for the bananas phase. You know the one, where things get wild, gains explode, and the market leaves everyone in awe. XRP's recent climb from 49 cents to an all-time high of $3.40 is nothing short of thrilling. And even now, it's holding steady above $2 month after month, a solid win for holders. But here's the kicker. If history has taught us anything, the next surge could leave this rally in the dust. We're talking next level growth. Picture XRP not just creeping into the double digits, but smashing through that threshold. It wouldn't just be exciting, it would be expected. In fact, based on past trends, seeing XRP hit double digits isn't just a wild dream, it's entirely plausible. On November 12th, 2024, chart analyst Peppa dropped a bombshell that had everyone buzzing. Holy S, bears are effed, he boldly declared. I mentioned this in my last video, but Peppa didn't stop there. He posted separately laying out exactly what he saw coming. And let me tell you, he was spot on. In that now famous post, Peppa called it XRP's bi-weekly chart was breaking out of a massive 2,500-day consolidation pattern, eerily similar to the breakout in 2017. While most people were still trying to connect the dots, Peppa was already sounding the alarms, shouting, "Guys, this is about to go freaking crazy." And guess what? He was right. That massive orange bar you see here, yep, that's what he was predicting. He's since retweeted it multiple times as if to say, "Told you so." Yesterday, he brought it back again to remind everyone just how crucial that moment was. Peppa saw it before it happened, and he didn't hold back in trying to warn the rest of us. Last night, something intriguing caught my attention. He mentioned $23 as the next target for XRP. Bold claim, right? But let's take a closer look at what he's seeing. In 2017, XRP had this explosive first leg up, skyrocketing before entering a sideways consolidation phase, lasting about 6 months. You can see that playing out in the chart. Classic market behavior. Now, fast forward to this cycle. We've already had that initial leg up, and once again, we're in a similar sideways consolidation phase, approaching that same 6-month mark. Deja vu, anyone? If history has a way of repeating, or at least rhyming, we could be on the verge of the next big move. Will it happen today, tomorrow, next week? Hard to say exactly, but if the past is any guide, the next leg up might be closer than we think. Humans are fascinating creatures, biological robots, if you think about it. When you zoom out to look at the bigger picture, patterns emerge. With a large enough group of people, you'll always find a variety of personalities, behaviors, and choices. And guess what? In similar situations, they'll often act in eerily similar ways, even years apart. But here's the kicker. As a group, humanity doesn't really learn. Sure, individuals like you and me can grow, change, and gain wisdom, but collectively, not so much. Why? Because the cycle never stops. Older generations fade, taking their hard-earned lessons with them, while the new ones step in, ready to repeat the same mistakes. Some people just never seem to learn, do they? Call it human nature or a glitch in the system, but certain patterns of behavior pop up again and again, like a loop we're all stuck in. It's almost like watching a flock of biological robots programmed to make the same mistakes on repeat. Frustrating? Maybe, but predictable? Absolutely. Here's the twist. Rather than despairing over the repetition, you can use it to your advantage. These cycles are opportunities to anticipate, adapt, and stay ahead. Sure, humanity as a whole might be destined to stumble over the same hurdles, but as individuals, we have the power to break free from the loop. Check this out. Chart analyst EWT, known for his expertise in Elliott wave theory, made a bold call back on August 18th, 2024. And guess what? He totally nailed it. Months before XRP's breakout, he spotted the signals others missed. In his post, he predicted that XRP might shock everyone by breaking free from a 7-year horizontal pricing range. He saw the consolidation, the tightening of the trend lines, and recognized what it meant. A breakout was imminent, and not just any breakout, a massive high-energy surge, he called it, right? Before hitting the apex, XRP exploded upwards, just as he warned it would. It was the kind of moment that makes every bull market exciting. When XRP went bananas, it wasn't a slow climb or a misstep downward. And wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what unfolded. Fast forward to August, and here we are. Just yesterday, Tuesday, he reposted with a bold prediction, XRP ready for wave 5. That's the pink wave right here. Imagine me pointing with my mouse, set to push XRP's price toward a jaw-dropping $12. Now let's talk excitement. The second leg up, that's where the real magic happens when it comes to dollar gains. Back in 2017, the first move was absolutely wild. In terms of percentages, like hold on to your hat wild. XRP skyrocketed from half a penny to 42 cents. Then it hovered around 20 cents for the next 6 months, catching its breath. The best part? Oh, that's just getting started. Sure, the first spike was exciting, but if you've been holding on since before November, the next phase is where things really heat up. This leg of the journey promises even bigger dollar gains And trust me, it's going to blow the first one out of the water. For those of you who've been in it for the long haul, holding XRP for years, waiting patiently through all the ups and downs, this is your moment. You've stuck it out. And now the idea of hitting those next level heights isn't just possible, it's within reach. Crazy? Not at all. It's what you've been preparing for. Crypto enthusiasts, take note. Chart analyst CryptoSeth just dropped some juicy insights with his 76,000 followers, and it's all about XRP. According to his latest analysis, XRP is gearing up for a major move. The key? Breaking that higher timeframe trend line. If it happens, Seth predicts it's going to be explosive. But here's the catch. What goes up must come down, and the dump afterward could be brutal. History doesn't lie, and Seth reminds us to tread carefully. This could be the moment XRP takes off, but remember, this isn't financial advice, NFA. Analysts across the board are buzzing with similar predictions, and the excitement is hard to ignore. Pay attention, folks. This is big. In the world of crypto, being ahead of the curve isn't just important, it's essential. That's why I keep hammering home the need to watch for top signals. And trust me, as the market heats up, whether it's Bitcoin, altcoins, or XRP specifically, I'll be shouting it loud and clear on my channel. Here's the thing. When XRP has a massive rally, history shows us what comes next. A brutal crash. We're talking drops of 70%, 80%, even 90%. It's not a matter of if, but when. So when the time comes, the choice is yours. You can use this knowledge to your advantage or bury your head in the sand. Just don't say, I didn't warn you. If XRP skyrockets that fast and high, you can bet it'll eventually settle into a new normal. And when it does drop, maybe to $3.00, $4.00, or $5.00, that could be the perfect opportunity. Who knows where it'll land? No crystal ball here, but that kind of dip gets me excited. Why? Because when the price craters, I'm jumping in heavy. I'll load up, dollar cost average my way in, and hold strong for the long game. XRP isn't just a quick flip. This is a play for the future. It looks like my new XRP holdings might sit at break even or even dip a little for a while. But here's the thing. Markets move in cycles, and eventually another bull run is bound to kick off. When it does, the whole process will repeat itself, offering fresh opportunities for those who know how to spot them. What's exciting is seeing how seasoned analysts with solid track records are lining up their predictions. They're expecting big things, and honestly, I'm with them. Can all the smart minds in the room be wrong? I don't think so. I genuinely believe we're gearing up for a takeoff sooner rather than later. The narrative, I'm all in. Of course, this is just my take. I'm not a financial advisor. Please don't make any financial moves based solely on my opinion. Always do your own research first.